Hey everyone, Bardi Toto here, author of the book, The Power of Asking, Disrupt Your Brand, Transforming Your Workplace with Gratitude. I own a branding and marketing company, and I'm also an author and speaker and trainer, and have 27 years experience with retail and wholesale. I was on the side where I was actually selling to buyers, and then I started the transition of buying, and then I saw a problem. The problem was that retailers, manufacturers, and people in the wholesale industry could not get their product to the marketplace. They did not know how to get online and sell their product to the marketplace. And so I've helped hundreds of companies do that, and they have had a great deal of success. So I'm going to talk about how to sell without selling today. And you're like, how to sell without selling. And I want to first start off with saying that each one of you watching this video is in sales. Whether you're in retail, wholesale, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a hairdresser, you're an attorney, you're, a radiologist, whether you're a nail technician, whatever it is, you are in sales, okay? Most of us do not want to claim we're in sales because we've had a bad experience with a salesperson. How many of you have had a bad experience with a salesperson? I know I have. And I cannot stand, there's two things I can't stand: buying a car and also buying a house. I've had a really bad experience with realtors and car salesmen. Okay, and there's two types of people that sell. There's an amateur, which is instant gratification, and there's someone who's working on a business development relationship to where they tell everyone about you and you build the relationship with the person. Most people are on the instant gratification, what's in it for me, looking at people as their next paycheck, or keeping their company afloat or their business afloat, or whatever it is. Now, if you lead with what I'm going to share with you, the money will follow. I promise you. So we're going to talk about a couple of different scenarios of sales techniques gone bad and how you could change it. So the first technique, which is you walk into a store, we'll call it Sprint, and the wife is looking for a cell phone. Okay, this is my mouse, a cell phone, and she says, I'm looking for the iPhone, let's call it 14. And he says, great, let me show you everything the 14 has. It's got a new calendar, a new screen, a better camera, it's got a this, a that, blah, blah. And suddenly she's like overwhelmed, okay? Rather than finding out why she came in there. She came in there to buy a phone for her husband. Okay, so instead of listening, the salesman just, gives every, thing that this phone or this mouse does and overwhelms her. And she says, I will think about it. The reason that most people will tell you that they'll think about it is because you provoked an objection in them and gave them too much information and overloaded them. It's like, and rather than getting to know someone. Now, if she went in and she says, oh, I'm in here buying, I want to look at the iPhone 14 for my husband, it's his birthday. Rather than starting by, let's shove this thing down someone's throat, start by asking questions or actually making a statement. Wow, that's really nice. Your husband must be really lucky, blessed that his wife is getting him a birthday gift like that. That's amazing. Like, what does your husband do? And get her to talk, okay? Because people love talking about themselves. Get to know about her family. Oh, what does your husband do? Okay. Oh, he's a contractor, and wow, that's neat. Where does, he work? Does he have any hobbies? Getting to know him, getting to know her, allowing her to talk and you listening, okay? And the second scenario you're basically showing that you care, okay? The number one thing people love more than anything is to feel appreciated. You know, I worked with a musician once, and I said, you know, during COVID, he got really depressed, and he says, I miss the fans. I miss them applauding. I miss this. I miss that. And I'm like, wow, you know, and I could understand where he was coming from. Okay, so you have two different scenarios and how you approach it. And I'm going to share with you in another video about the sales process, implementing gratitude, or implementing a way that you can disarm someone rather than, you know, repulse them and them run away. You know, I'm going to give you a scenario of what happened to me the other day in a store. Perfect example. So I got bit by a bug, and I got cellulitis in my eye, which is really dangerous. And I went to an eyeglass store. Now, I have not worn glasses in a long, long time. And I thought that the store I had gone to many, many years ago was this particular store. And I go in, I said, you know, I'm looking for glasses. I don't want to, you know, spend a gazillion dollars because I'm never going to wear these. And you're going to laugh at me. I have a very small face, and so I have to wear children's glasses. Yeah, I do. And so it was a young girl. And then she's like, oh, let me call over my optometrist. And I said, well, first I want you to tell me the glasses that I had in my hand, are these single vision or what are they? I don't know. She goes, well, let me take a look at them. She says, well, it's illegal for me to read them. And so I'm like, okay. And then she sat down and she said, oh, we can do it for this price. And we have these progressive lenses. And I said, no, I don't think that's what I had. And so the price ended up being like a lot. Okay. And she came back and I said, I think these were negative 2.75. And she goes, well, I'm not allowed to tell you. She goes, but that's close. But she just told me that it was illegal for her to check the prescription. So she also said, we're the only place that can get them within 10 days. I said, no, I need them today. She goes, like, nobody's going to be able to do it today. Now, remember, I wrote the book, The Power of Asking, okay? And so I made a phone call because I was in a big mall, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm at the wrong store. Maybe it's the other store. And she's like, who are you calling? And I'm thinking, who is, like, I'm being interrogated. And I said, I'm going to have to think about this. Because one, I was overloaded with information. I was like, you know, shoving it down my throat. So I'm going to give you a side note. When you go fishing, you put bait on a fish. But if I put like cheesecake and steak and things that I like, okay, the fish are not going to bite. But most time in sales, what people do is they'll sell you what you think that you will like, that you want all this technical stuff, or you want all this stuff, when that's not the case at all. So you're shoving your product, lotion, potion, whatever, or service, retail, or whatever down someone's throat, but you haven't even asked what their needs are, and you don't know what they truly want, because you haven't asked questions. So she's giving me all these things and showing me this, you know, book, and I'm like, I'll think about it. So then I said, I'll think about it. And I left. I went to another store, actually the store where I bought the glasses many years ago, because I was confused, and went in there, and the guy goes, well, you know, we are having a problem because of COVID getting the lenses, but let me call around. If certain stores have the lenses, we can do it for you today. Well, the first store wasn't even going to entertain that, and they were a corporate as well. So this store got on the phone, found the lenses, said I could get it the same day, even, you know, gave me a discount and so forth. And I said, you know, are you on commission? And he goes, barely. And I said, thank you for taking the time and doing this for me, because he knew it was important that I needed the glasses today. And the price was much, much less. Okay. And so he's like, read my glasses, and he's like, these were single vision and they weren't progressive. Well, the other person said that they can read my glasses, that it was illegal, but she wouldn't tell me what the prescription was, which is it was like deception. You know, she didn't want me to go somewhere else. It's a horrible way to approach and sell someone. It's like, anyway, he told me what my prescription was. And he says, you know, your left eye, it shows astigmatism, but this prescription says differently. So he also made me realize that maybe the prescription I had was incorrect, and redid it. So I'm just using this as an example of the different approaches. I mean, what makes you go to a certain oil change place? I will literally go 30 miles out of my way to get my oil change at a certain place, because I can't stand being sold to. In fact, I've gotten so defensive that when I go into an oil change place, the first thing out of my mouth is, I just want an oil change, don't try to sell me. And it's like, gosh, I can't believe I've gotten like that. You know, we all want to feel appreciated. Nobody likes being sold to. So why are you trying to sell to other people? But Bardi, that's what my boss told me to do. Okay, there is another approach and another way. I cannot stand going to a car sales lot. I don't like being followed around like a vulture. I have taught people on car sales lots. I actually have someone at a Porsche dealer and other dealers that are the top salespeople. What makes them the top salespeople? Because they took the strategies I've taught them, which is getting to know the client and listening. Find out about their family, what they do, you know, what they like to do for a hobby. And then, you know, say, here you go. You know, learn about them, you know. And some of you are like saying, oh, I don't have time for that. Then you're in the wrong business, okay? Seriously. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, but what works and what does not. And shoving a product or something down someone's throat, or showing them something, realtors, that you think that they will like. And that happened to me when I was looking. They showed me, I'm like, no, that's not what I want. You know, I understand it has that, but this is not what I want. But they think I want it because everyone else in the neighborhood wanted it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to want it. It's kind of like, you know, going to, you know, a restaurant, maybe something's popular on the menu. And, you know, I know that they're supposed to make suggestions and so forth, but sometimes going to restaurants is really annoying with the suggestions. And it's like, just let them tell you what they want. I know that you're trying to upsell or whatever, but let them tell you what they want. So I hope you got something out of this as far as retail sales. I train corporations how to sell without selling. I train corporations how to implement gratitude into their corporation and their brand. Because remember, what you like is not necessarily what the customer likes. So if you are on commission sales, okay, and you're like, but Bardi, I've got to make money now. You don't understand. Sorry, I have allergies. Trust me on this one. When you find out more about them and you find out you come from a cross of compassion, not manipulation, not for your own good, it's going to go further. People are attracted to people, not product. Your product is people. That is your product. It is not what you're selling. It is not your retail store. It is not your idea. It is not your service. People are attracted to people, not product. Okay? There are a lot of realtors out there. Okay? And I pick the ones who I've had to fire a few because they act like they're interested in selling me a house, and then we sign a contract and I never hear from them again. And that is annoying. You need to follow through with them and, follow up with them. So I'm going to give you some ideas on some other videos on how to communicate, especially how to communicate online. I love doing this online because a lot of people say, well, it's harder to sell online. No, it's not. When you go to a networking group, okay, face to face, and you have your business cards. I got a business card here. Right? I only have so much time with the business card. Oh, hi, how are you? And then I have people come to me and they're like, well, what do I say after I become friends with them online? That is my favorite thing to train on. And then, of course, I have people ask me, well, how do I find the right people? How do I find that niche targeted audience that will buy from my pet store, that will buy from my retail store, or that will come to my axe throwing shop or whatever? So we're going to talk about that in another video. Thanks. Click the link below to get in touch with me and find out more.